Have you ever heard of parental alienation? It's a term that sounds extreme, but it rarely starts with a big dramatic crisis. Instead, it's a slow burn, a gradual process that often goes unnoticed until the damage is already severe. By the time courts, family, or even therapists see the problem, a child's rejection of one parent is often so deeply ingrained that it is incredibly difficult to reverse. Let's break down how this happens, step by step, through its three distinct phases. It all begins with mild alienation, the quiet start. This phase is so subtle that most people mistake it for normal post-divorce awkwardness. The child still sees both parents and might even seem affectionate, but underneath, the seeds of division are being sown. You might hear small, negative comments disguised as concern, like, "I just worry when you're at your dad's house," or maybe you notice a subtle tension whenever the other parent's name comes up. The alienating parent might retell stories in a way that makes the other parent look bad, or create small loyalty tests that force the child to subconsciously pick a side. Because the child hasn't openly rejected anyone yet, everyone assumes things are okay. Professionals are trained to look for obvious harm, not these slow, quiet fractures in the relationship. So this stage goes unchallenged and the alienation quietly takes root. Next, we enter moderate alienation. This is where the shift becomes more visible. The child's loyalty starts to tilt dramatically toward one parent. They might start resisting visits or phone calls with the other parent. You'll hear them using phrases and opinions that don't sound like their own, almost as if they're repeating a script. They might say things like, "Mom is just selfish," without any real personal examples to back it up. Intervention is still possible here, but it gets tricky. Some professionals might mistakenly blame the targeted parent for the child's resistance. Courts might order therapy, but if the therapist doesn't recognize the underlying alienation, the real problem gets missed. This confusion and disagreement among the adults creates delays, allowing the alienation to harden and become even more entrenched. Finally, we reach severe alienation. At this stage, the rejection is absolute and impossible to ignore. The child might express intense fear, hatred, or hostility toward the targeted parent, often based on beliefs that are completely distorted or even fabricated. They will refuse all contact, show zero empathy, and cling to a narrative where one parent is all good and the other is all bad. Ironically, this is the point when the system finally wakes up and takes the problem seriously. But it's also the stage where it is the most difficult to fix. Trust has been shattered, memories have been rewritten, and the child's entire identity has been shaped around rejecting a parent they once loved. The tragedy here is that our systems are designed to react to crises, not to prevent them. There's a reluctance to intervene early, which means the problem is allowed to escalate until it becomes almost irreversible. That's why early recognition is so critical. We need to educate ourselves, our families, and the professionals involved to spot these signs early. By listening closely to a child's language, supporting healthy communication with both parents, and using therapies focused on rebuilding relationships, we can protect these vital parent-child bonds before they're lost forever. Parental alienation is a progressive journey, not a sudden event. Catching it early can make all the difference. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more content.